Well, guess what, guys? Look at this crash. Do you know what it is? Okay, I'll give you a hint because it says it right on the front. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Matt Samolski here. I'm Matt the Carguy. On this channel I do car reviews. Today I have a special treat for myself and hopefully for you as well, because this is a 2021 AMG GT53. Now this is a 4Matic Plus, so it's an all-wheel drive vehicle. It's a sporty coupe four-door type of vehicle. We're gonna check out all the cool and interesting features about it, but before we do that, I want to give a big shout out and thank you to Mercedes-Benz of Hoffman Estates here in Illinois for allowing me to film this vehicle. I'll post the link to their website in the description of this video, so check out their inventory. They have tons of brand new as well as pre-owned vehicles, and don't be shy, give them a call. I'll put Peter's phone in there so you can check this out. We're gonna take it on the tour, so if you're ready, let's go. Well, guys, so we're gonna start this right in front here, but before we do that, let's talk a little bit about this AMG GT brand, because it is Mercedes, yet it's labeled as an AMG only. So even on the sticker it doesn't say Mercedes AMG, Mercedes-Benz AMG, it just says AMG GT53. Now, because it was designed by the team, Mercedes team at AMG, which is their high performance division, and all they do is they work on everything to make these vehicles faster, cooler looking, and they've been successful for years and years and years. If you don't know what that is, I suggest you punch in the Google that says, what is Mercedes AMG? And it will tell you all about it. It's a pretty cool story. We don't have time for this today on here, but AMG started with the two doors, right? Two doors and convertibles. As a matter of fact, I've done a convertible not too long ago. And what jumps out at you when you look at this car? First, we're going to start right in the front. This massive hood that hides, we're going to talk about that in just a little bit, the engine, the power plant for it. Very nice lights. Okay, and it kind of slopes down and it sits down kind of like a cat maybe, or a tiger ready to be jump out. This big Pan America grille, huge Mercedes logo on it, lots of room to get the air inside of here as well in here, and then it kind of has this double lip spoiler at the bottom. Well, let's take a look at the lights. Those are those multi-beam lights and they turn with you, so this is the active lights. They also have this LED light that goes right around here, so the daytime running lights, when it's on, yeah, I'm going to show you in that walk around so you can take a look at this as well. Really, there's like three different shines in this vehicle. So the matte gray is obviously the color of this vehicle. Now you have a little bit of chrome right on those vertical stripes on that grille, and then you have the matte black and a little bit of shiny black right here. Now, what do we have here? The air can go here and here. These are actually non-functional. There's nothing in here. It's blocked. So we'll take a look at the engine and see what's underneath the hood. Let's check out the grille up front and up close and personal. It's got this little AMG logo on here. Engine itself, 6-cylinder, inline 6, turbocharged engine, 429 horsepower, 384 pound-feet of torque, and it's made it to a AMG speed shift 9-speed automatic transmission with the manual shifters. It's gonna be super cool to drive it. We've seen this engine when I did the GLE Coupe AMG 53 and I liked it. This one is a lot more aerodynamic. It's a smaller vehicle, so I'm super excited to drive it in just a little bit. But before we do that, let's finish out the rest of the exterior. Okay, the side profile, what does it remind you of? The Sport Coupe, right? It reminds you almost like the CLS, but in the new version of the CLS, it's a little bit different. This one is more beefier, okay? It's more, it has that stance of a more masculine vehicle. It has this chrome accent right here on the sign and it says Turbo 4Matic Plus. What that means, the 4Matic Plus, 4Matic is the all-wheel drive system for Mercedes-Benz. The 4Matic Plus means that it can send 100% of the horsepower to the rear wheels if it's needed to be. The wheels, I love the design, the black AMG multi-spoke wheels. Now they're dressed with the Pirelli's P0s, 255s in the front, 285s in the back, and these are 19-inch wheels on that. A little bit of chrome in here, not chrome, but most of the polished aluminum. Honestly, I think it would look a lot cooler if it was all blacked out. That's just me. So maybe if it had that night package, it would look great too. Of course, it's got the keyless go, unlock and lock. When you lock it, the mirrors fold in. And you know, as far as the side of it, I mean, check it out. Tell me in the comment section below, what do you think about it? I guess probably my favorite part of this car, it's its back end. I mean, honestly I think it's best to look at it from this, and because it sits down, yet it gives you that masculine look. Look how beefy it is. Look how wide it is over here. And then at the bottom, right here on the sides, you have those, unfortunately, again, fake air kind of outtakes. Now you have exhaust tips, 2 on each side, and they have the AMG logos. AMG on one side, GT53 on the other side, big Mercedes star right here. But what's cool about it, it's got this cool spoiler right here to help you with that downforce if you're going really fast. And I'm gonna jump in the car and raise it up right now so you can see how it is. But full LED lights, those lights, if you look at any of the Mercedeses right now, including the new and upcoming S-Class, they have a very similar light design. So when you look at any of the Mercedes or any of the cars and you're not sure what it is, take a look at the lights. If they look like this, that's most likely a Mercedes. Okay, so check out how the spoiler, now you can set it up so it goes up automatic at a certain speed, but you can also do it manually right here. Look how cool it is, and that definitely helps you with that downforce. Wasn't that cool? All right, and this is also one of they call the fastbacks, right? So the whole gates open up and it gives you so much more room than in the regular, you know, sedan or coupe. Okay, so look how deep it is. Now, for sure, I mean, if you have a lot of stuff, you're not gonna be able to, you know, move your family or anything like this in here. But also, the seats fold down. There's a button right here to, you know, get the seats. It unlocks it. Okay. Let's see if it's got the spare tire, or what does it have in here. Of course, no spare tire in here. It just have this collapsible crate that you know, for extra storage, and actually just a little bit more storage room underneath here. And this is interesting because some of the Mercedeses, like this particular one, still comes with the smoker's package. So this is an ashtray that comes with it. Well, you know, it is a 4-passenger, it's not a 5-passenger. It's got 2 seats in the back, 2 seats in the front, and I want to check out and see if there is enough room really comfortably to sit for 4 people. So I have the front seat adjusted to my regular driving position, and I'm going to jump out in the back seat and see if I can first of all fit and if I'll be comfortable. Okay, so getting in, I had a little bit of an issue, but I also have my boots on, so that's definitely a problem, you know, sliding my size 12 foot in here. But once I got in, I actually feel pretty comfortable. It is confined, the space, so it's not a luxurious, it's not, super comfy, but it kind of hugs you and it gives you that little space. And how cool is the interior? Right, guys, so let's check this out. First of all, the side of the seat. Look at this trim. This kind of like that ash trim and the aluminum trim around here. Now it's got a little bit of gap. Now that's where you can see, if it was dark, you'd see that illumination, you'd see the colors of the different ambient lighting. But the setup inside of this car, let's check it out. So it has two separate seats and they're separated by this console right here in the middle, and I'll give you a little bit of a close-up of it, what's in here. But let's check out the seats first. Look at the tops of the seats. First of all, they're front seats and back seats. They're kind of raised profiled, so they're profiled seats. They hug you, and you know, for a wider person it might be an issue. It also has the AMG logo right in here, and then in the middle you have this console. Now that console opens up, there's some storage area in here, and in the middle here you have this AMG crest. Okay, this also shuts down, so if you want to have a nice clean look you can close it down. But what's cool about it too, look, cup holders. Oh, big deal, Matt, cup holders. Well, you can have them cooled or heated or turn it off. So, well, have you ever guys heard the expression of the backseat driver? With this one, you can certainly be maybe not in charge of the driving, because obviously the steering wheel is up front, but you can do a lot of settings changes in here from your back seat. So this one has this high definition touchscreen. You can check out the dynamic data, vehicle data, engine data. So while driving, this could be very interesting to see of how the vehicle reacts. So you can see how many horsepower it outputs at any given moment when you're driving, how many pound-feet of torque. Okay, and then you have your oil temperature, you have your coolant temperature. Very interesting. Dynamic data. You can change the vehicle settings in here. You can change your ambient lighting, you know, as far as the brightness. We're gonna put it up at 100%. Unfortunately, I mean, it's bright outside, but I'm gonna show you something. Right here is where you can see how you can change those. You can change the different colors in here. You can change to blue, let's say purple sky, multicolor. You can switch on different effects. This one, it doesn't seem like it's all of those 64 colors, but there's a lot of them. Let's check this out, guys. Let's take a look. The front door, side of the door, I mean, you have nicely leather, aluminum, ashwood trim. It's just, it looks super good. Now you have the lock and unlock, and you have your window controls, you have your Burmeister stereo, and then you have your hatch opening, and of course on the door sill right here you have this AMG logo. But I want you to see the seats. Look how contoured they are. They have the sport seats, and it's kind of a combination of leather, like a perforated leather, solid leather, aluminum with this AMG trim that was seen in the back as well as you have this Alcantara inserts on here. So very nice, very good looking, very sporty yet classy looking seats. We'll see how comfortable they will be when I get inside of it. Okay, check this out. When you get in this car, you have a picture, and we've seen that on other Mercedeses, but that's so cool. Just welcoming you, shining the lights on you, and it's got this Pan America grille, the AMG little logo to the side, and the lights on. So that's on your screen when you get into this Mercedes. But let's start with the steering wheel, because that's going to be different than the non-sporty model. So it's a combination of aluminum. Okay, so you have the aluminum, you have the AMG logo right there. It's a combination of leather and Alcantara. Also very comfortable and very useful as far as a typical sports steering wheel, the flat bottom on it and with that stripe on top. So again, on the sides of the steering wheel, you know, the left hand side controls the left screen. It still has the full MBUX system, so left hand side controls the left screen, right hand side controls the right screen. But just quickly take a look and see what happens when you press the magic button. And okay, lots of noise happens, but let's take a look. See, it's a completely different screen setup on this one. So you have your speed on the left hand side, your RPMs on the right hand side. The car's got 13 miles on it. It's a brand spanking new vehicle, and that's it. That's your simple setup on the screen. Can you change different designs? I believe you can, because most of the Mercedes have. This is the Super Sport. Let's see what the Sport one looks like. Okay, so Sport one is more of a regular design. You still have that AMG logo on it. So, yeah. You know, MBUX, again, you know, we've went through so many of them, but just the basic functions on it, the functionality of it. First of all, you control the screen on the right with this trackpad or touchpad, however you want to call it. You can control it, you know, sliding your fingers on it. It is fully touchscreen in here, or you can control it with that trackpad that's right here. So there's 3 ways of physically controlling that screen or that system. You can also control it by voice using "Hey Mercedes" as your call word. So cancel Mercedes.
I'm sorry, but I can't help you with that right now.
Oh, well, she must have been busy doing something else. I personally like to control everything through the steering wheel. The one that's distinct feature for the AMG car is the track package. Okay, so first of all, it says activation used only on closed off tracks away from public traffic. So that basically tells you that, hey, you are in a sports vehicle. There are no tracks in vicinity, but you can do track race, okay, on top, drag race, telemetry, and options. Well, obviously, you know, we're not going to do any of that. So that's a very cool package for those of you who like to, you know, take it on the track and race, which, by the way, you know, if somebody buys this car, you know, they should at least once take it somewhere. And I'm saying at least once, because once you do it once, you're going to want to come back and again and again and again. But take it and see the full potential. I've seen so many people in my time with Mercedes buying AMG just because they could afford it, never ever took it on the racetrack, and never ever seen the full performance on this car. Why waste your money then? You know, just for the looks, get the AMG look of it and the regular engine. That's just my opinion. I'm sticking to it. So AMG Performace, again, we already talked about it. This is not a 63, this is a 53. So it has an AMG enhanced engine. It's not hand built and it's not as powerful, but basically this is going to give you a lot of information as far as your vehicle engine consumption. And then you can select your dynamic select, so you can change your individual configuration and then save it as basically your default configuration if you like a certain way that this vehicle drives. So you can select the different settings for your drive, transmission, dynamics, and suspension, and the choices are either reduced, moderate, sport, or dynamic. So we're gonna be dynamic. Okay, this is your engine configuration. Certainly I'm not going to change that, because somebody that buys this car might want to do it themselves and I don't want to mess it up for them. But we can go through different drive settings that are basically individual. You can have a slippery, which, you know, I don't know, we should probably use that, but we're gonna use sport today, and that changes the sport the tuning to the engine, dynamic transmission. It also changes to, there's a Sport Plus, Pro Dynamics, and a Sport Plus suspension. So there's a few settings, and definitely get in and play around with it. There's a lot of stuff that you can change in here, and you have different themes in here. So the theme basically changes everything. So if you have a theme, it's gonna change your main screen, it's gonna change your side screen, so it's gonna change a lot of stuff in here, and you can always go back and change it if you like something else. So, and that would be in your settings. Now, this vehicle is also equipped, look at this, in hot relaxing back massage. So it does have the massage seats. You have the seat comfort, ambient lighting, you know, so you can change that in here. That's actually a pretty cool feature, and that massage feels really good. Lots of features. Check it out yourself. Point out, because this is different, is most of the Mercedes non-AMG have the shifter on the steering wheel. This has a shifter on right in the regular, in the middle of that console right here, and it has a bunch of shortcuts. Okay, basically on this side right here, so you can see you can switch your dynamic select modes from comfort to individual to slippery, and then you can go to sport, and you have to go to sport plus, and then you can adjust your settings from for the transmission, right? And sport plus, if you want to change that, you can select your dynamics from dynamic to manual. You can select your suspension from sport to comfort to sport plus. You can turn off your traction control if you'd like to, and then on the other side you have your spoiler button that basically opens up that spoiler. We've seen that auto start on and off button, and we've seen that as well. And this is your regular radio and volume button. So look at the nice size of those shifters on the steering wheel. You know, you have the up and down, very good quality. This is aluminum. It feels like it. It's nice. It's cold. It's not plastic. It's not aluminum looking. Same thing with the trim, and you have both of those shifters on both sides. So the trim right here, that gray ash trim, awesome looking. Top of the dashboard, leather, contrast stitching, you know, all that stuff. And again, those seats right here, you take a look at it. There's several different patterns on the leather and this aluminum. So definitely looks like a sports car. It feels like a sports car when you're sitting in it. Now we're gonna find out if it drives like a sports car. Alright guys, so before we take it for a spin, you're probably asking yourself, how much is this car? Well, first of all, there's 4 different trim levels on the AMG GTs. There's AMG GT 43, 53, 63, and 63S. The least expensive one is 43. Now the 43 is going to be $89,900 at starting MSRP, so just under $90,000. This one starting MSRP is at $99,900, and we're sitting in one that's equipped with a bunch of extra equipment, which is $117,000. There's a lot of it is non-standard on it. I'll list all of the equipment in the description of this video just to give you a quick idea of what's not standard. That rear executive seat package with that screen, that's not standard. That steering wheel, that Alcantara, and the sports steering wheel, that's not standard. The sunroof is not even standard, and you know, these seats are not standard either. So this one is really nicely equipped. Now the AMG GT53, you know, that is basically $140,000 starting MSRP and $161,000 on the 63S. So we're going also, you know, with the horsepower from under 400 to 670 horsepower, so it's a huge spread, as well as, you know, you're getting the 0 to 60 the from 4.4 seconds to 4.1 seconds on this one, to 3.3 seconds on the 63, and 2.9 seconds I think, or something crazy on the 63S. So definitely a lot of difference in performance, but for everyday drive I think this one could be substantial, depending on A, your budget, and B, your driving abilities. I still think that even this car right here is a lot more to handle for certain people. But let's see how it drives. So we're gonna check out with the rear view camera, and the rear view camera does have the 360, that does have those trajectory lines, and it has all of the features. It has that parking assist, it has the wide angle front camera, narrow angle front camera, side cameras, rear wide angle, and rear narrow angle camera. So let's just go with the regular wide angle camera. I'm going to turn that park assist off. I don't need that. Like I said, on this particular parking lot, it cannot find parking spots, even though you can see it from the top, but they're very faded away. And then we're going to check out the turning diameter really quick, the turning radius, and see of how wide or how narrow the turning diameter is. So we're gonna do it my archaic way. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And what's surprising, not surprising, but I didn't expect to hit those little patches of snow. And this one has the P0 tires, which are summer tires. I mean, it's nice for hot or warm roads, or when they're warmed up. When it's 15 degrees outside, not so much. So again, you know, if you're somebody who is does not really know how to drive cars, and I'm not an expert by any means, but you just got to keep that in mind, that if you have summer tires and you're in the winter time, that's usually not a very good combination. So you have to be careful about how you drive that car, and you just certainly don't abuse it, because that can end up pretty badly. Right, so one of the concerns when I was getting in this car was, is it gonna have enough width on the seats? Am I too wide, or can this car handle me? And I'm happy to report that it actually is comfortable. They're grabbing, they're hugging me, but they're not too narrow, so it's not something that cannot be handled. I have the vehicle in Sports Plus mode, and I'm gonna see how it accelerates on here. So let's hit it. Did you hear that? This is out of a 53. This is not a 63. And okay, is it the fastest car, you know, on the road? No, by no means. There's a lot of faster cars, but is it capable of accelerating? Actually, it's like, what, 4.4 seconds 0 to 60. That's pretty respectable. You know, if you really want to, you know, make a difference, go with the 63. You'll cut it down by, you know, 1 second, so you're gonna have actually, you know, 3-point-some seconds 0 to 60. You know, we're gonna check out the acceleration one more time, as well as a little bit of cornering to see how it handles. It is pretty stiff, but I also have it set up, like I said, in Sports Plus. It makes it more rigid and, you know, better for handling and cornering, especially at the higher speeds. I'm gonna switch it then to comfort and see what the difference is in between those two modes. Too bad I couldn't take that corner at the, you know, higher speed, but let's hit it. Well, that was much better. Realistically, it's a very capable sports coupe, and you know, 4.4 seconds is nothing to sneeze at. And I love the roar of it. I love the rev matching, and yes, I'm sure they're speaker enhanced, but it sounds really, really good. Let's hit it again. Very easy to get it up to speed, and very nice handling. I mean, it feels like, you know, it's really low to the ground. It's got this low center of gravity. You're not afraid to make, you know, you feel like you're in control of this vehicle at all times, which is really important when looking at the sports car. very capable. I like this vehicle. I mean, it is a step above basically the CLS. They still make the CLS, but it started about 70,000, so this one starts about 90. And again, it was designed, you know, by AMG, so it's gonna feel completely different. It's gonna definitely feel more sporty. I didn't know what to expect about this car. I mean, yes, I knew what to expect from Mercedes-Benz, but never driven this one before today, so I'm really happy that I did. Now I have another car on my like list, and you know, if you're looking for something like this, definitely check this out. Check out Mercedes-Benz of Hoffman Estates. I'll put the link in the description of this video so you can see what they have in inventory. Maybe call Peter and ask him some questions if you have any. And that concludes this review of this vehicle. And if you like watching stuff like this, if you like talking about cars, listening about cars, learning about cars, check out my channel. I hope you like it. I hope you hit that subscribe button. It really means a lot to me. And smash that like button if you like it. Share it with your friends and family. And I will see you in my next video. Cheers.